I am Muriel Beach. I'm a resident of New York City, the Chelsea section of Manhattan, and a citizen of the United States of America. I'm 83 years old, so I do not have a job, but I am very active in 2 organizations, which I'd like to discuss a bit. If you forgive me, I'm going to use some notes because it's easier for me to make sure that I cover material I want to cover with you. I am president of the New York chapter of the New York Statewide Senior Action Council, and this is a 40-year-old grassroots organization of seniors working for the dignity, economic security, and well-being of other senior citizens in New York State. Its purpose is to develop an awareness of the needs of elders and to improve the quality of their lives so they have economic security and dignity. Living in dignity as an elder person is a very important part of our principle. Also, our goal is to develop leaders by training programs in advocacy and activism. It is a statewide organization with chapters in various areas of the state. And we work with the state legislature and also fight for programs when they are threatened with budget cuts. I am also co-founder of a Senior Outrage Coalition. There comes a time when silence is betrayal. Martin Luther King. SOC, an organization which we started almost 3 years ago now, was organized to fight against city budget cuts in senior programs, as well as the closing of Peter's Place, a homeless shelter for seniors. That is a battle that we lost, sadly. Peter's Place is closed. But tying that in with our discussion of elder abuse today, in a demonstration on City Hall steps here in New York City, I once accused the mayor and the city council guilty of elder abuse when they proposed major cuts in city programs which would cause great hardships to vulnerable elders and literally wiping up programs that were so vital for them. I see governmental actions which deny elders of their dignity, economic security, the ability to go to a senior center near them so they can have a social life, as a form of invisible elder abuse. We view elder abuse as physical, psychological, financial, or emotional, and cutting services by a few government to the vulnerable elderly population is the invisible form of elder abuse. But its impact on that group is as harmful as a physical attack, a mugging. They are left wounded, isolated, and often without sufficient funds to purchase the food or even the medications necessary for even the barest standard of living. There are different stages of aging. Helen Hamlin always says that we start aging from the time we're born. Unfortunately, many elders fall victim to Alzheimer's and other forms of dementia, but many live an active, productive life well into very advanced years. One of your this question about if I felt a form of discrimination applies here. Being 83 years old, I get very offended when someone hears about the work I'm doing and says, "Oh my, how unusual, somebody of your age doing this, and that you're mentally all there." It's as if they expected someone my age to be senile. And I am not unusual. I work with many elder people, some older than I am, who are making major contributions to the improvement of the society of the people around them. Now, this is a form of discrimination that I truly hate. That assumption that you automatically become senile at a certain age. It is one problem I have when discussing elder abuse, by the way. When one discusses elder abuse, you're assuming that all elders are vulnerable to this and automatically victims. Although I see the need to be aware of elder abuse, I know what steps have to be taken when it occurs, and I want to see positive, active, healthy elders also being viewed. Not just we are victims or we are the vulnerable. We're also active elders. And this, assuming we're not, is a form of discrimination that I have to fight almost every day. There are instances where family have emotional, psychological elder abuse to their parent or to an elder in a family. There's actual physical abuse where they are physically assaulted by sometimes their children or healthcare workers or being mugged on the street. And the whole psychological attack that goes on. And of course the financial. Over and over again, you hear about somebody who, before they had a slight form of dementia or something, were very active, productive people in society, executives, being swindled out of their homes, property, assets. And this form of elder abuse usually isn't revealed until after it's done. So, but it's those little snide, invisible forms of elder abuse that I feel most serious and should be attacked. But again, as I say, I don't want people only looking at elders as victims. Mm-hmm. I don't want them seeing us only as potential problems. I want them to recognize that when we reach a certain age, the talents we have in life, we still have them. We can still contribute. We do contribute. And that there has to be that balance between, yes, some are vulnerable, to, yes, some are still out there, very highly creative, really working. I mean, I have people who work with me at Statewide and on SOC, push their walkers, come in their wheelchair, but would be out in demonstrations fighting for something because they thought they were fighting for somebody who was weaker than them, who needed them, their voice. And when I look around at them, it's with such great pride. My years of being president of Statewide and founding SOC, with Norman Siegel, by the way, who's quite famous in civil rights in the city. It was that whole concept that seniors should be outraged at what was happening to them. And so we're outraged, we act. I mean, seniors vote. We have a reputation in this country of voting to a higher portion than any other group. We stand in those long lines. We fight. We study and know the candidates. We know what we're voting for. And a lot of the younger people do not. We don't have the representation at the polls we should have. But seniors are to be proud of. There's a lot out there doing wonderful things. And I'm not an exception. I do believe that that we need a UN Convention on the Rights of Elders. That proposal of a special rapporteur, that really made me wondering if you were going to kick the can down the road a bit and avoid the issue. Perhaps with the right rapporteur, it could bring enough attention to the issue. I don't know. I do believe that the rights of the elders are not sufficiently covered by the current Bill of Rights in the UN, and that there is a real need of a convention to cover them. I did see a conflict on this issue between the developed and the undeveloped countries. For example, the UN countries, the developed countries did not want a convention, where the underdeveloped countries and South America definitely did want a convention. I do believe that by addressing the issue of a Bill of Rights for seniors, you would be able to attack elder abuse better in the future. And it needs a convention.